My next guest is warning that a massive market crash is coming in October. That there'll be a financial crisis, a calamity, as she calls it. Is this what you think will trigger this October crash?
Well, I think it's already been triggered, personally.
Gold, silver, and Bitcoin are all going to crash as well.
This is going to be the biggest crash in world history.
Ooh, big bag. You not talking money, you can miss me with the chit chat. I'm not with the rah-rah or the riff.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Nikki here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the stock market crashing and what's going on. Why is it crashing? Is it crashing? Will it crash? Is this the biggest crash we've ever seen? Because y'all, look at this. I mean, you can find it where you want to see it. We're crashing, it's crashing. Get out, sell, wait, hold on, help us. People have been trying to predict stock market movement and specifically crashes for a very long time. Look, I want to show you something. Okay, let's look at this. Now, here's the Dow Jones, okay, from 1900 to present time. Can we please look at this? You see, overall trend is what? Up. And then we have these pullbacks, or as a lot of people like to call them, crashes. Right here, we rebound, we come up. We pull back here, we bounce off the trend line, we're coming up. This is kind of nutty, that whole area after that second arrow. But then we had a pretty massive drop right there at that third circle, and then we continued up. Pretty sure that massive drop was, I don't know if that was COVID. Maybe it was, I don't know. But not only is it down, let's check out the S&P. Look at this, the S&P large cap index from 1925 to present, same exact situation. All right, so what about the NASDAQ, 1978 to present, same thing. Obviously, this looks a little bit, honestly, more volatile. I mean, that second big ass drop. But we never stopped the overall trend of going upward. So was that a crash? Maybe that second one was a crash. Maybe up here at the very top of this graph, we're gonna have a major pullback to kind of where the trend line would be. Is that a crash? And the answers to these, if you want to look at it in the sense of crashing, you could look at that. You could say, yes, those are crashes. Those are big movements within the market. It's costing a lot of people a lot of money. It's scary and it's confusing and it's all that. So yes, you could say those are crashes. Or you could say they're pullbacks to the trend lines of the overall trend of upward movement for the markets. So what is it and what do we do about it? Now look, I do believe that we need to have some sort of crash or pullback in the markets. I mean, we did have that huge, and for the first time in my life, and really it was kind of the first time I probably noticed it because I wasn't really too into stocks prior to COVID. I was a little bit, but not like I was looking at charts every day. But that March, April time in 2020 was nuts. We fell so dang hard, but what happened? It's 2021 and we already recovered that. We're already continuing to make new highs. So this idea of it crashing, the biggest crash we'll ever see, I mean, maybe it will be. Or is it just a pullback that's healthy to help us? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? And I am obviously looking at this from a perspective of a 28-year-old who is investing, who's not living off her investments in the stock market. If you're, if you're 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, you're living off this and stuff, talk to your what is it, a CPA, accountant, tax people, financial advisors, because I'm looking at this from a different perspective than you probably would be. But also, I don't know anyone in that age range who's watching it. And so to hear people say the worst is coming, the huge crash is coming, like we've seen that and we've heard it and we've experienced it all throughout the history of our country. So for me, it's like, And that's why I always talk about the long-term game. Yes, it's not sexy. You're not flipping thousands of dollars every single day, week, month, whatever. But the long-term game gives you a chance to invest in companies and businesses that you believe in. Not necessarily, yes, the numbers make sense, but like companies that you wholeheartedly believe in. So as a long-term investor, these crashes, these pullbacks should literally be exciting because we can add to our wealth. We're literally just creating more wealth for ourselves. Now, if you are anything outside of a long-term investor, if you're a swing trader, if you're a short-term investor holding things for 1 to 5 years, maybe a couple months, even down to a couple weeks, then maybe you may want to pay attention to what positions you're opening right now, analyze your risk tolerance, your money management, all that kind of good stuff. It really carefully, maybe pay more attention to it. But like for the overall market and to cause hysteria over this, if you're not, living off this money or a swing trader, which granted a lot of people are, so I mean, it is what it is. But even then, it still presents great opportunity for you to add to a long-term portfolio. Hopefully, if you're swing trading or short-term trading, that you have a long-term, but it still presents a really good opportunity. But I will also say the daily traders also. So I feel like those two are actually fine no matter what happens. I'll explain that in a minute. And to be honest with you, I know nothing, okay? I know nothing about what the market's gonna do. Anyone who tells you that they think they know or whatever literally has no idea. They're going off their bias of what they want to have happen. I'm chilling either way. If it goes up, my wealth goes up. If it comes down, I add to my wealth. So really either way, I'm good. Now, I will say I think a crash or a pullback is necessary / coming. And I can see you now. You just said that no one knows anything and now you're saying what you think. Okay, it's important to have an intellectual conversation about where we think the market is going and where we think the country is going and the economy and all that stuff. So I will say this without getting politics involved, which is hard to do. And a lot of this is because of that. But the things that worry me: inflation, yikes; unemployment, yikes; national debt, the debt ceiling, all of that stuff, the money we've just been printing, like it's not a big deal, yikes. But also the biggest one that is a little bit politically, whatever you want to say, are these vax mandates. This, I think, will affect the economy more than honestly probably any decision made in the last decade, maybe or longer, to be honest. I don't know, but I wasn't in the game back then, so we're gonna go with the decade. I mean, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. In New York, they just had to get rid of, what was it, 70 or 80,000 first responders, nurses, doctors, all that stuff because they were not vaccinated. People's jobs are getting eliminated because they will not get a vaccine. How is that going to do well for the economy when you have hundreds of thousands of people not working these jobs anymore? For example, I caretake for my sister and I work for a company that has just emailed me that everyone needs to be vaccinated by November 30th, or basically you're unemployed. Like, get your vaccine or get out. And I'm not going to sit here and have a debate on if you should get it or if you should not get it. You got to do what's best for you, okay? But what I do know is when you do have it, you can still catch COVID. Yes, it will greatly decrease hospitalization stays, hopefully, and death, but you can still catch it and you can still spread it. So what is the point of this? What is the point of it? Or like last year, these doctors, frontline, we knew nothing about this virus, peak of the pandemic, no vaccine, no nothing, in the faces, trying to save lives of these COVID people. They make it through. Now they're trying to just do their job and you're getting rid of them because they're not vaccinated. Yet last year, we're okay with it. It literally makes no logical sense at all whatsoever. I don't care what side you're on, that doesn't make sense. So in my personal opinion, I think if a lot of places start to implement this, we're going to see some issues and we're gonna see it happen quickly. And I do see that causing kind of a little bit of a panic in our marketplaces. But let me talk about why I feel like, obviously, you know how long-term is like the best term, okay? You've seen the trends, you know the statistics. I don't gotta talk about that. But let me talk about why I feel like day trading within one day, minutes, hours, seconds, is the second best way I feel like to do this. I think for these daily traders, okay, you're staying in the present moment. You're staying in those minutes, those hours, those seconds. You're taking it day by day. You're not trying to predict this in 2 weeks, not trying to predict this in 3 years, not trying to, you know what I mean? You're literally focused on the present moment and what opportunities present themselves to you. So if the market's trending down, cool. As a long term, I can add to my wealth in my portfolio. As a short term, I can play it short and make profit on the downside. Trending up, cool. I could profit as a bull. I could profit on the long side as a day trader, and I can clearly profit and grow my portfolio as a long term. And yes, times are completely different. So that's the one thing that I will say I'm kind of like, I mean, maybe. So my take on this and what everyone's been saying and what I've been seeing is we just gotta stay simple. Remember history. Remember what the trends are showing us. Remember the actual reason why we invest in the first place. It's for 40 years down the line. And if you're day trading, like I said, stay present in the moment. Ride the trend and profit off the trend. Then you can use profits from what you're making every single day to then invest in the long term, invest in real estate, put it in savings, put it in whatever you want, but you can make capital with every market fluctuation that's happening. So So, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand the hysteria. And like I said, if I was older living off of this or something like that, maybe I would. But I'm personally just not in that position. And you can let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me. I just think it's kind of funny because I feel like we see this all the time, and it's just like we always just continue to make new highs in the market. And I will say 2021 has been weird. Like, the market's definitely not what it used to be, but like I said, history, baby, history. But if you want to, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button, really helps the channel out. And also, y'all, click this video right here to go ahead and see how much money I made this last month in dividends, because this is a pretty good one and I'm pretty stoked about the growth, and I'll show you the spreadsheet in that video. Otherwise, you guys, you know I love you. You made it this far, you're the MVP, and I will see you in the next one.